What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Cardano, Chainlink, and Algorand. I'm sure you're all wondering what these cryptos are up to. You know, they had a pretty nice pump and then a pretty nice dump over the last 24 hours or so. And I'm sure you're all wondering, are they going to head lower? Are they going to recover? If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell. And before we get started, guys, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these cryptos. Your analysis could be different, and if it is, that's awesome, because the more difference of opinion that we have, the better traders, the better investors we're all going to become. With that being said, guys, let's jump right into it here with Cardano. Of course, the reason why ADA pumped so much was because Trump had announced that they would be creating a strategic crypto reserve that would include ADA, XRP, and SOL, and then afterwards he announced that Bitcoin and Ethereum would obviously be part of the same basket. Kind of interesting announcement, to say the least. But of course, that was the reason why ADA pumped. And then, of course, the reason why the crypto market subsequently dumped was because of tariff fears from yesterday. But what's really interesting, guys, I guess first thing I should mention is that I don't think we're out of the woods yet in terms of the pump, if that makes any sense. Because basically there's going to be an announcement from the White House this Friday that's going to give more details, I suspect, around the strategic crypto reserve. I'll actually give some details at the very end of this video that I think a lot of people are missing, but just something to flag here that, like, yes, the pump happened and then there was a dump and everyone thinks it's a nothing burger, but I'm not so sure. I think that we're still going to get another bullish announcement later in the week, and it's easy to forget, guys. Just think about how quickly, ADA was up like 60% in a day, right? Just think, and other altcoins also were up like double digits. Just let that be a reminder of how quickly, when prices are down and everyone thinks it's over, just how quickly everything can reverse, right? So that's just something very important to keep in mind. And I guess that's a very nice segue here into the chart. Of course, we're looking at ADA on the daily here. I'm always on the daily chart here, guys. And of course, what's really interesting about ADA is that it rallied up, almost hit this resistance level that I'd been identifying here, and then it crashed back down to the starting point. But what's nice is that ADA is actually still above the starting point, at least at the time of shooting. Maybe it'll grind a little bit lower. But again, all that ADA did yesterday was just get back into this range that it's been trading in basically for the last, like 2 or 3 months. This is something I underscored in my video yesterday, that, like, yes, it can feel really frustrating when prices are down at this range, but the fact of the matter is that most altcoins, whether it's ADA, XRP, even altcoins that are super beaten down like Osmosis, all altcoins are just chopping at the bottom of the range, and this is why everyone is feeling so scared and so panicking, that, like, is it going to go lower? But the thing is that it's just been chopping in a range, and eventually it's going to, break out of that range to the upside, because we're at that stage in the crypto bull market where the risks are to the upside. And this is why I've been saying, for weeks and weeks, is that, basically eventually we're going to see a rally out of this range, is basically what I've been saying. And of course, for a lot of people, it's been frustrating, especially as prices grind down to that starting point. But in my view, the really nice thing here with ADA is that it has gotten back above the starting point. It's very obviously back within this range. Maybe it'll chop around, this starting point, possibly for another couple of weeks, you never know. But eventually it's going to retest this resistance level, and then it's going to rally up to this $1.75 target. That's not a cycle top target. This is just a short-term target. I do think that ADA is going to go much higher after that. But again, as frustrating as this price action is, just remember that it's not bearish. Cryptos are just chopping in a range, and a lot of cryptos are chopping near the bottom of that range, which is why everyone is feeling so bearish. And just take a look at this amazing, daily candle. Just let that be a reminder of just how quickly crypto prices can reverse, right? It was way below this this starting point. Even I was kind of like thinking, damn, like, this is not looking too good. And then boom, it just explodes to the upside. This is what crypto is like. So just keep that in mind. And especially the lower that we go, the higher the chances that we get a candle like this, because everyone is so short, because negative is so low. Because sentiment is so negative and low. And yeah, guys, it's just always when people are feeling the worst, that's when you tend to see moves like this. And then, it's unfortunate that the move didn't sustain, but I do believe that it could continue heading higher again as a result of some announcements we can get this Friday, but I'll get to those at the end of the video. As you guys might have noticed, we were using Binance there. The Coin Bureau deals page has up to 20% trading fee discounts on Binance, as well as up to $600 in bonuses. I know that 20% doesn't sound like a lot, but even if you have a few hundred or a few $1,000s and you're just trading frequently, those fees do add up. I know that from experience. So, take take advantage of these deals. They don't cost you a thing. They're completely free. You get a trading fee discount. The exchange gets a new user, and we get a cut of your trading fees. That's how the Coin Bureau makes its money. We're not sponsored by Ethereum or Solana or anyone. We don't care what crypto you like, so long as you're looking to buy, sell, hold, accumulate, whatever. We're here to basically give you the tools to do that. And of course, the Coin Bureau deals page is a lot more than just Binance. We also have deals on other exchanges and also on some wallets that could keep your ADA safe. So now, guys, moving on to Chainlink. What really caught my eye is that Chainlink, of course, it's been really angling itself towards like real world assets and stuff like that. But I do find it interesting that over the last couple of days, Chainlink has been highlighting stablecoins. This is one area that I think a lot of people are overlooking. Stablecoin regulation is in the works, and I believe it's going to be approved sometime in April. But the thing is that Chainlink, of course, is a data oracle, is a critical piece of infrastructure in stablecoins. It's a critical piece of infrastructure in real world assets. These are all things that are kind of coming up. Similarly to like this huge pump in ADA, all it would take is some announcement from BlackRock to say, hey, we're using Chainlink, for Oracle for our new tokenized product, right? Some announcement like that would be enough for Link to have the same price action. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's just something to put out there, especially when prices are looking the way they are here for Link. You guys might have noticed I redrew here this long-term support line that Link has been holding somewhere around $14. If we zoom out, Link has been holding that level for, I think, like over a year, almost a year and a half. It's a super key zone of support. I don't think Link's going to go much lower than here. This is something I've been saying already, I think, since last week. Yes, it did, drop below the starting point, which is unfortunate, but kind of like the lower that crypto prices go during bull markets, it doesn't mean that the bottom's going to fall out and it's all over. The lower they go, the more buyers they are, because most people in crypto, they know that, we're still kind of in the, I wouldn't say in the early stages, but we're kind of in that final stage of the crypto bull market, which is precisely where altcoins tend to see their largest gains. And you can refer to yesterday's video if you don't know what I'm talking about. I break down the 4-year cycle in detail in that video. But yeah, guys, it's unfortunate that that Link, wasn't able to get back above the starting point the way ADA was. But especially when you consider that Trump holds Link and all this type of stuff, through World Liberty Financial, I do think that Link is going to do really well. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when, and we just have to be patient. And when prices get down to these lower ranges here, it doesn't hurt to accumulate. I'm not advising you to do that. I'm just saying that on a balance of let's say in terms of strategy, the time to, if you're a trader, then you're taking profits in like the upper end of the range, and then maybe accumulating towards the bottom end of the range. Although of course the risks right now are pretty let's just say it's pretty risky to trade when you're down here. It's always best to wait until you have confirmation above the resistance line before going long or anything, which is something I've been repeating in all of my videos. So now moving on, guys, to Algorand. Same thing that I find kind of funny is that Algorand is kind of, trying to signal to everyone and say, hey, like we're also made in America. Are we going to be included in the this crypto reserve? I mean, I guess it's too soon to say. We'll probably find out on Friday exactly which cryptos are going to be included in that reserve. But I do think that Algorand has a really good shot of kind of being in the spotlight at some point. Of course, it was founded by Silvio Micali, who's out of MIT, which is one of the top kind of universities in or colleges or whatever term you want to use, one of the top higher learning institutions in the US. And of course, it is also quantum secure. It's actually really fascinating that the Algorand was one of the first cryptos, I believe, to have post-quantum cryptography, which is super fascinating. And that's another narrative that's going to be very big, I think, especially with like AI and like all these AI quantum chips and Microsoft coming out with quantum and Google coming out with quantum and all this stuff, right? I wouldn't necessarily sleep on that. But of course, unfortunately, ALGO's price action for now doesn't look too promising here. But similarly to Chainlink, it broke below the starting point and it's just been, hitting that long-term zone of support right at this lower level, which again goes back years and years and years. This is a very key level that I don't think Algo is going to break below. 20 cents is a really nice key psychological level. You're probably going to see lots of people accumulating around that range, which is kind of what we've seen so far. And eventually it will, get out of this kind of rut and move its way back into this kind of zone where it was chopping. And eventually it will get to that resistance, will break above. This target is not a cycle top target. The target here for Link is not a cycle top target. You will know it's a cycle top target when I specify, but for now, I think we're a long way off for cycle tops for most altcoins here, and we're just going to take things one step at a time. But all in all, I do think that, again, like, yes, these charts are scary, but they're not bearish just yet. If all these altcoins were to continue breaking below these levels, then there would be some cause for concern. But especially given how low the sentiment already is, so many people have already sold. There's already been, hundreds or I think even billions of long liquidations. I don't think that prices are going to go much lower from here. And I do think that, again, as we saw, all it takes is a couple of positive announcements and you get a candle like we saw here on ADA. So just keep that in the back of your mind that, when everyone is saying, oh yeah, like we're going to get a candle like to the downside, the chances of a candle to the upside like this is greater when you're at these levels, in my opinion. Anyways, guys, of course, at this stage, I do need to show the Coin Bureau Club. That's where we do deep dives into promising small cap altcoins every single week. The way that we pick those altcoins is that we do a weekly altcoin review poll. The way that we pick the altcoins in the poll is is a combination of our research as well as the suggestions of our members. The altcoin that wins that poll is the one we review, obviously. We also have a research feed where I'm sharing these types of insights that I'm sharing at the end of this video. I share those every single day. We also have a team portfolio page where you can see which cryptos we hold as well as the cryptos we're considering buying. We have an exclusive deals page where you can get discounts on crypto analytics platforms and stuff like that. And we have a members Discord where you can ask us questions and kind of join a really tight-knit community that's been through it all between the highs and the lows. And I'm really glad that we have a nice sizable community there of a few thousand people, everyone kind of supporting each other. And if that's something that you need, then you can find out about that using the link in the description. But moving on now, guys, to this whole thing about this crypto reserve. It's shocking to me that how everyone just completely forgets that the White House had earlier published here an executive order. This was on January 23rd. It was an executive order about crypto, and in here, some of you guys might recall that there was actually a specific note in here to create what was the exact term here? A stockpile. I'll just find it in the buried. Yeah, to find a stockpile. The working group shall evaluate the potential creation and maintenance of a national digital asset stockpile and propose criteria for establishing such a stockpile, potentially derived from cryptocurrencies lawfully seized by the federal government through its law enforcement efforts. This is the one piece that everyone's forgetting. Everyone assumes that this strategic crypto reserve will require an act of Congress, that they're going to spend taxpayer dollars on these cryptos, when basically the executive order is saying, like, actually the way we're probably going to make it is by just, the US government has some cryptos that it sees as part of enforcement actions, and it's just going to declare that we are recognizing these assets as legitimate and we're going to hold them rather than sell them. And some of you might think, oh, well, that's just another nothing burger. Well, not necessarily, because of course that adds a lot of legitimacy, because not only is the US government declaring that these assets are legitimate, but also basically saying, yeah, like, and we're also going to hold them as an actual asset. It's something that, maybe in the future that will probably require like some act of Congress or something. But I just do find it very interesting that a lot of people are freaking out and really going out, like running with the ball, so to speak, and thinking that there's going to be all this act of Congress and everything. You don't need any of that. They're just going to announce that, hey, all the crypto that's been seized, we're just going to keep that. That includes XRP, ADA, and all these other large cryptos, which are like the most popular, right? And that'll be that. And I do think it'll be a nice little boost to the markets. Is it going to result in another candle like this? Probably not. But again, this is just one of many, many, many milestones that are coming up for crypto. But of course, we do need a little bit more clarity around the macro with all this tariffs. Once all that uncertainty is gone, then we should start to see a recovery. It'll probably take, honestly, guys, like probably another couple of weeks. Hopefully by the end of today, most of the tariff flood will be over, because the tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico all went in overnight, basically, I think around a few hours ago here, and they're probably going to announce some retaliations. After those retaliations are over, then most of the tariff flood will be over, and hopefully we can all start accumulating and allowing these cryptos to continue chopping around this range before eventually recovering, because we are at that stage in the cycle where we will be getting a huge crypto bull market, especially in altcoins, which always rally near the end, and we should be getting that sometime later this year. In my opinion, it's over the summer. Some people think it's later in the fall, but regardless, it's going to be coming here, let's say in the next 6 to 8 months, roughly. Anyways, guys, if you did make it this far, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.